welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted to be joined by Thomas. This is a video looking at perhaps what is next for Tyson Fury after losing for the second time back to back to well, former undisputed, obviously now not undisputed because he doesn't have the IBF belt, but unified heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk. Usyk beating Fury 116, 112 on all three judges' scorecards via unanimous decision. And this video is all about where we think really Fury can go from here, what could be on the horizon for him in 2025 and beyond. Before we get into it, Thomas, just as always, guys, if you are watching and you don't subscribe to the channel, please do so. We've got all of your boxing needs under one roof, plenty of interviews, big fight breakdowns, reaction videos like this, betting tip shows, previews, everything you could think of in terms of boxing, we've got you covered. So please do check out the channel as well as liking this video and letting us know in the comments your thoughts. Thomas, as I said, we watched Tyson Fury lose for the second time to Alexander Usyk. This one, I think, in the judges' eyes anyway, and probably most people watching. I know there were some people thought Fury won, and Fury and Warren and stuff did, but Usyk definitely, I think, maybe won this more convincingly than the first fight. So yeah, we're just going to discuss what we maybe could see happening for Tyson Fury going forward. So yeah, your immediate thoughts, kind of, and what's the first thing that comes to your mind for Tyson Fury going forward?
To be honest, I know it's not as lucrative as it was when both guys were in winning form, but I think the time to strike for the Fury versus Joshua fight is now. Both guys on the dark side of 35, not really, you know, uh, not in winning form, and don't really seem to be. They really just seem to be past their best at this point. So I just think the time is now to get that out of the way. And I think that, people will still tune in to watch it. I mean, I would love to see that fight. I feel like you would probably enjoy watching it too. The buildup would be great. Um, Stylistically, I think it's a great matchup. Put it in Wembley Stadium. Um, I mean, everything's there for it to be a big fight, and I think the fact that these guys are coming off losses, I mean, yeah, it does diminish the attractiveness of the matchup, but um, I still think it's a fight worth watching, and I think the time is right now for that fight to happen because I, especially for Tyson, I just can't really see him getting motivated for any other fight.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you, Thomas. I think picking up on a few points you've made there, I think you've hit the nail on the head. To be honest, I think yes, it's not the fight it once was. We all know that now. Both, well, Fury's obviously got two losses now. What Joshua's got his four, I suppose, now as well, with the two six defeats, the Ruiz one, and then obviously Dubois of late. Both losing their last fights. Joshua in devastating fashion, Dubois, of course. And yeah, it's one of them where I'm gutted we never got it when both men were maybe not undefeated, but when Joshua maybe had only that before the Usyk fight, for example, had you have made the Joshua Fury fight around that time, just after maybe Fury had gone through Wilder and Joshua was still looking good before the Usyk defeat, kind of around that time. Could you imagine how good that fight would have been and how massive it would have been? Yes, it's still a huge fight. Let's be honest, they're still the two biggest names in British boxing. Um, but yeah, it's not what it once was. I think in saying that, I do agree with what you've said, and I concur, Thomas. I think stylistically, it's intriguing because I suppose it depends what Fury you're getting. If he's as heavy as he was against Usyk, he'd probably be able to take Joshua's shots better because he looked like heavy set, didn't look like anything was troubling him. Whereas the first fight, obviously with Usyk, when he got hit that round nine and everyone was talking about it, looked like he was a little bit all over the show. That those that 20 pounds or whatever it was lighter, maybe can't hold a shot as well when he's lighter. But then to caveat that, when he's that heavy, he can't move as well. So it would be an easier target for Joshua to hit. So I think there are still, stylistically, it's an intriguing matchup. It still sells out Wembley Stadium. It still makes both men, I don't know how much exactly, but multi millions. I know they don't need it. I know they're both already multi-millionaires. I could sail off into the sunset right now and never have to work a day in their lives and, 10 generations after them in their families will never have to work. But I think the fights there, the British boxing public still want it. It's not what it once was, but it's still a huge fight. And I agree with what you've said, Thomas. I would still want to see it personally. Would I pay a pay-per-view for it? Yes, definitely. It's a fight I want to see. And yeah, I for sure. I don't see any other avenue, as you said, for Fury. Maybe motivation wise, is he going to want to fight a Zhang or a Bakuli and try and get himself in line for a shot at maybe Dubois' title? I don't know. I'm not so sure. Could he fight Dubois? Don't know if I could ever see that fight happening, to be honest. So yeah, I think the Joshua will make sense for him. Makes sense for Joshua as well. Whether or not it happens next remains to be seen. But I think 2025, it's 2025 or never, isn't it? I think it has to happen in 2025. So I do hope you're right, mate, and I agree with what you said. Just before we wrap it up, are there any other names at all that you would like to see Tyson Fury face? Um, the likes I've mentioned there, maybe those people like the Bacolis, the Caballas, the Zangs. I know he wouldn't fight Joseph Parker because they're very good friends. The Dubois of this world, are they names that you would want to see Fury fight, or is it just they're a bit meaningless now if it's not Joshua?
Yeah, I I would like the Dubois fight. I think that it, you know, I think that would be another one that would have an interesting build up and another all British matchup. But yeah, I don't really think that Tyson would be really motivated for that. And to be honest, I don't I question how motivated he was for this rematch. I don't know. It just kind of seems like lately um, the fire isn't there for Tyson. Um, so yeah, if it's not getting that big uh, Anthony Joshua bag at Wembley Stadium, um, I just I don't think that uh, even a matchup with Dubois or Zhang, which would be great fights, I would love to see those. I just don't think Tyson would get up for those personally.
Agreed, mate. I agree. I agree. Just to finish it off, Thomas, before we head off, because we are running short on time. It's 2025. It's summertime. It's announced Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury are fighting at Wembley Stadium in front of whatever it is, 90,000 people. Who are you backing? Who would you think would win that fight?
I would favor Tyson. I just think I've always thought, to be honest, that in terms of just craft and ability and just toughness, really, uh, just unquestionably, Tyson has the edge in all of those. The only real edge that Joshua has, in my opinion, is the punching power, knockout threat. Aside from that, I would definitely favor Fury to win, probably a decision, maybe a knockout. Joshua is chinny after all. So yeah, I think I'd be pretty confident in picking Fury to win, even with him, not really being what he once was and as motivated as he has been in the past. I Yeah, I favor him to win that one pretty decisively.
Interesting, interesting. I have always been backing Joshua. I always thought stylistically that would be a brilliant fight for. I actually have always thought, to caveat what you said, I've always thought stylistically that fight suits Joshua. Um, but I think it actually depends on what Fury comes in, to be honest. I don't think we're ever going to see the elusive Fury, the jab and move and dancing anymore. I don't think we're ever going to see that again. But even the difference between the two Usyk fights, if you're comparing those two Furies, I think that the first Fury actually suits Joshua better because I think that he has great powers of recovery, but I think it was clear to see if Usyk's hurting him, Joshua could hurt him with the same. Yeah, I know Joshua's not as skillful as Usyk in terms of being able to land the shot and set it up, but if he did, I think he could get Tyson Fury out of there. Whereas when he was so heavy, 20 stone, he's like an immovable object, isn't he? I don't know if he could put a dent in him. And yeah, maybe Fury would wear Joshua down and the other way. So yeah, it's an interesting one, mate. I hope it happens. I hope we finally get it. It's not what it once was, but yeah, let's hope 2025 is the year for Tyson Fury against Anthony Joshua. Thomas, thanks very much for joining me, mate. Guys, let us know in the comments who you want to see Tyson Fury fight next, or what you want to see him do, what his next move could be. Please do like this video and also check out the rest of the channel and hit that subscribe button. Thanks very much, Thomas, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Likewise.